to do interviews, so that's great.
Right. So just start off. How do you pronounce the name of the band? Is it Kaasin or Kaasin?
Well, that's in Norwegian. I pronounce it Kaasin, but
Kaasin.
that's yes. But in France they call it Kaasin, and it's Kaasin, and it's Kaasin. So I think Kaasin is the best way to pronounce it out there. And the name is actually an old Viking name. It means a settlement that is cleared by fire. So the name goes back to the Vikings. So
Wow.
that's kind of cool.
Very cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
My husband and myself love Vikings, everything to do with Vikings. So
Yeah.
anything like that we find very fascinating.
Yeah. Yes, it is. Absolutely.
So your name basically means that then, doesn't it? Cleared
Yeah.
by, yeah. Wow,
Yeah. Yeah.
wow.
And I actually live in the woods of Norway. So I'm not living in a big city or anything. It's just
Oh,
out in the
yeah.
countryside. So I love to almost live like a Viking in the woods here and playing rock and roll guitar.
It sounds like a very good life to me. It really
It
does,
is.
Joe.
It is.
Um, so you are the founder member of Kaasin, or I must apologise for my typical English inability to pronounce anything other than English. Uh, you're obviously the lead guitar player on this project as well.
Yes, I'm the lead guitarist in the band, and I got my cousin on bass. So we are two musicians from the Kaasin farm, so to speak. So it's kind of a family project now.
Cool. I think that helps sometimes, doesn't it? Because you kind of makes it easy to get together, and unless you have a family fallout, in which case it gets a bit awkward.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
But I mean, you're no stranger to rock, though, are you? I mean, you've worked with the likes of Joe Turner, Glenn Hughes, Bernie Marsden, on the Come Taste the Band, didn't you?
Yeah, yeah. I've been working hard and have been lucky as well as it's been like 15 years ago. I met Glenn Hughes, and
Mm.
we started to work together for like I think we did 4 or 5 tours together with Glenn Hughes and Contest the Band, and of course that Jolene Turner heard about it and. Wow, then we started to work with him as well, and then came Bernie along, and we had some gigs with him. So and Doogie White,
Yeah, yeah.
yes. So we ended up writing and recording an album with Doogie White and Jolene Turner in Contest Band. So it's like I've been lucky, and I've been working with those legends for many years. So well, that's been a great journey.
Absolutely, and some of the greatest names in rock, really. I mean, Glenn Hughes he's a legend, especially around these parts of the Midlands. He's next to God. So,
Yeah. It's the same here in Norway, because the Deep Purple albums Burn and Stormbringer were huge here in Norway. So that's why I started to pick up the guitar in the first place because I heard those records. So Glenn is, he was my idol when I was growing up, and then I finally met him, and then I worked with him. So it's great.
fantastic. But now you've got this new project, Kaasin. I mean, who's with you on this particular part of your musical journey?
Well, I got a singer, Jan Tore Grefstad. He's a Norwegian singer, and he's quite famous in Norway because he was on the TV show The Voice, and he's been in different Norwegian bands like TNT. You might know them.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
So I just asked him, "Do you want to do some stuff with me?" And he went, "Oh yeah, yeah, I would love to do that." So he's singing on our single "Runaway Train," and he did a fabulous job on it. He's a great singer, and
Mm.
we are at the moment working on the follow-up, and we are writing stuff for our album to come out next year. So it's a lot of things happening. So it's fun to finally have my own band, because I've been playing in Come Taste the Band with Glenn and Joe and Doogie and also Graham Bonnet, and it's always been I had to play other people's material all the time. So it's kind of a relief to finally do something that's just mine.
Absolutely, and there's nothing better than hearing your own material.
Yeah, that's great. Though we of course wrote the Come Taste the Band album Reignition. I was writing that album with Doogie and Joe and some other guys from Come Taste the Band. That was the start, really.
You mentioned your debut single, Runaway Train," which is on Stream Peak, I believe.
Yes.
Um, Tell us about it. I mean, how did it all come together?
Well, I've been writing a lot of material over the last few years, and that particular song came very easy to me. It's the lyrics is about some kind of restless freedom, and what you sometimes have to go through to get there.
Mm.
It's like taking a runaway train. So it's about freedom, and it's got a lot of energy to it, and I think the groove and everything, the sound is great on the record. We had that guy, live Jo Hansen, who did the Phenomena records and 21 Guns records, and was also a part of Aha on their tours. He
Hmm.
mixed the song, so I think he did a great job to secure a good sound.
Absolutely, it
So
is a very good song.
So I'm very pleased with it, and it's got all those elements that I like, with analog synths, a la like Tony Carey played on Rainbow's Rising, and it's got Hammond organ, mystic guitars, and a great groove. So that's the way I like to write, and that's how the song came about.
Well, you work with the old masters, so you've cut your teeth really on old school way of recording, and it certainly shows.
Oh,
without
thank you.
without a reliance on click tracks and all the technology that's available to musicians today. It's refreshing to hear a genuine rock song.
Yeah, thank you. And actually, the song was mostly recorded live in the studio, and the guitar solo in that song, that's a first take. I only played it once, so I picked up the guitar, I played the solo once, and the producer said, "Well, that's it, we got it." So
Yeah.
that's on the spur of a moment. So. I like to record like that, like the great bands from the 70s did,
Mm.
because they went on the road for a few days and then maybe in the studio a couple of days, and things were fresh, and I like to keep it fresh always.
Yeah, I mean, there is a tendency these days to overthink it and overprocess it and take after take after take. And it doesn't improve it at all. If anything, it loses its spontaneity, it loses the original magic that you had in your
Absolutely.
head.
Absolutely, we are human, we are not machines.
No,
We have to have the human thing in music, because what else is there? Just a machine, it doesn't make anything for me.
no.
uh, so I try to do it the old way. That's the
Mm,
way I like to do it.
and good for you.
Yes.
Um, so you mentioned an album as well. I mean, have you had any ideas about what you're going to call it?
Uh, we're working on the songs right now, and I suppose we start recording it later this autumn, and I hope to have it out summer 21. But it, of course, depends on the terrible COVID-19 thing,
Absolutely.
because we want to go out on the road to promote the album. So we have to see, but I hopefully it will be out next summer. And but we are going to release a new single, a follow-up to Runaway Train in November this year. So there will be some new music before the album comes out.
Oh, great stuff. I look forward to hearing that. And you can rest assured we'll be sharing it on social media as well.
Yeah.
What would you say was your sort of the thing that really sticks in your memory from working with? I mean, like we mentioned the guys. I mean, what really sticks in your mind, your fondest memory of those days?
Playing with Glenn Hughes was an adventure, and he learned me a lot of things. He said to me, "You have to play every concert as it is the last one you do," and I try to live up to that. So yeah, I learned a lot just being on stage with Glenn,
Mm.
and he is a great musician. He and lots of improvisations going on. Like we played Deep Purple songs like Mistreated and You Fool No One, and then they lasted like 10 minutes or 15 minutes and was different every night. And that was great memories. And Jolin Turner, he was like a mentor for me, because I went on the road with him and I wrote songs with him and recorded songs with him. And he said to me, "Look, Joe Henning, I learned everything in the music business from Richie Blackmore, and
Mm.
now I'm learning it all to you. I'm passing the torch to you." So what more can you say? It's
Absolutely. I mean, that is one hell of a pedigree you've got there.
yeah. So it's when I'm thinking about all those fond memories now, it's like well, I'm so thankful for hanging out with those guys and playing with those guys. I've been lucky, so I'm happy about it. It's great, just great.
Fantastic. Um, so I mean, again, or geeking because I'm a guitarist as well, so I always have to ask these questions. What gear are you using for the project?
Well, it's a simple setup. It's one Fender Stratocaster straight into an Engel amp,
Mm.
and I don't use any effects. It's just the guy who mix the song that puts on the maybe a little bit delay or reverb, but it's quite simple. It's all in the hands. So
Absolutely.
but I got to have a good Strat and a good tube amp. That's what I need. So I use Marshalls and Vox amps as well. So that's basically it.
Um, But you can't beat that way. I mean, it was good enough for Richie himself. So again, that heritage comes through, letting the amps drive do the talking rather than push it too hard with pedals.
Yeah, and I did a few gigs with Bernie Marston, playing the old Whitesnake songs. So I
Mm.
had to change to a Les Paul when I did those gigs. And Bernie, he flew in with just his guitar, and he called me and said, "Oh well, can you fix a Marshall amp?" And of course I did. And he just plugged into a Marshall stack, and wow, there was the sound of
Yeah,
Walking in
there's
the Shadow of
Bernie.
the Blues. And he liked that I did the same thing. I just put the guitar into the amp, and there was my sound. So that was great to see that he's working in the same way. So well,
Well,
it's fun.
it's always a sign of a good guitarist.
Yeah, hopefully.
So sorry, I mean, you mentioned a lot of different guitarists here already, but who would you say is the one that's influenced your playing the most?
Well, obviously, Richie Blackmore is the big hero for me because he's the reason why I started to play the guitar. But I've been listening a lot to players like Paul Kossoff of Free and Rory Gallagher, guys like that. Who the guitarist I listen to is always blues-based
Mm,
players. And I like the way Bernie Marsden plays as well. And Michael Schenker, he's a
yeah,
great guitarist. So and also David Gilmour from Pink Floyd. I like him a lot. His playing is very melodic and full of passion and feeling.
and
So
it's the space as well. You sound to me as if you appreciate the idea of the space between the notes.
yeah, that's very important.
Mm,
You got to have space because there's a lot of players out there that can technically do amazing things, but you can't compete with them. You have to
no,
play some notes that means something and that people can relate to what you do. So that's the most important thing to me, to play something that moves people.
absolutely. If you could give one piece of advice to anybody just starting out, either as a guitarist or as any other musician, what would it be, Joe?
Well, have fun. Play a lot. Try to find other people to play with, and kick into the gear and have fun. Because if you have fun and work hard on your instrument and play together with other people, it will always come something good out of it. That's that's my opinion. And of course, the music business now is very different from the music business when I started to play. Like I started to play like 35 years ago or something like that. But there is also opportunities in today's business. So the way is short from a band to a listener. So make it happen, but work hard and play together. That's my advice.
Sound advice indeed, Joe. Joe, it's been a pleasure. I'll let you get on, and because time marches on for us all, doesn't it, so to speak? So,
Yeah.
I'll just say to everybody, check out this new band, Kaasin, because I think you're going to be one of them bands to watch for 2021.
Well, thank you, and thank you for a great time.
No, thank you, Joe. Thanks for the interview. Have a good evening.
Have a good evening. Bye.
Bye bye.